Okay, so imagine this. It's December 22nd. The snow is gently falling outside, and we're cozying up with a mug of something warm to explore an album that's caught my ear. Um, it's called Cocoa, Coffee, and Christmas Carols by an artist named TATANKA. Intriguing title, right?
The title itself, yeah, hints at this kind of fusion of familiar holiday warmth with a unique cultural twist. You've got that, classic Christmas comfort of cocoa, but then the Ethiopian element of coffee, piques your curiosity. It definitely sets the stage for something special.
Right. And there's even more to uncover because the album actually features both English and Amharic versions of many of the songs. So today we're going to dive into the heart of this album, exploring its themes, its stories, and this really beautiful blend of Ethiopian culture and the Christmas spirit. So think of, beautiful music, comforting aromas, and maybe even some new insights into how other cultures experience the holiday season.
I think you'll find that while the traditions may differ, the underlying emotions and values resonate across cultures. There's a universality to the themes of love, family, and togetherness. That kind of shines through, regardless of language or background.
I love that thought. So the album opens with a track called Cocoa Dreams, where we meet our main character, a young girl named Tana. It's Christmas Eve, and there's that familiar, feeling of anticipation in the air. But the song really focuses on the simple joys, like that quiet moment with a warm cup of cocoa before bed. So it got me thinking, is there a specific drink or aroma that instantly transports you back to Christmas?
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating is that the cocoa itself isn't just, a random detail. In many cultures, it represents warmth, comfort, a sense of homecoming. So while we might associate it with Christmas specifically, it really taps into a deeper emotional resonance that transcends the holiday itself. It's like a universal symbol of love and nurturing.
Wow, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that makes so much sense. And for Tana, that cocoa is like a portal to Christmas memories and peaceful dreams filled with carols. It's such a simple image, but it really sets the tone for the whole album. Then we transition into A, which I learned means sober and lion. Unfortunately, we don't have the Amharic lyrics translated, but even without them, the music evokes a sense of quiet contemplation. So it makes you wonder, what could be the significance of these two contrasting images, the sober and the lion, especially following, the peacefulness of Cocoa Dreams?
Yeah, that's where it gets really interesting, right? We have this juxtaposition that invites us to think beyond the literal. Perhaps it's about finding balance or strength and stillness,
Mhm.
or even the duality of the human experience. Without the lyrics, it really becomes an invitation for the listener to bring their own interpretations and experiences to the music.
I love that. It's like the album is already inviting us to actively participate in the storytelling.
Mhm.
Then the energy shifts and we're swept into the heart of Ethiopian Christmas with a track called Jenna Nights. It paints such a vivid picture of this vibrant celebration. Crisp air, families dressed in white, and the sound of carols filling the streets. It makes me wish I could experience Jenna firsthand.
Jenna, which is celebrated on January 7th according to the Julian calendar, is a really important cultural event in Ethiopia. What's particularly special is the way it blends religious observance with joyous revelry. So families attend church services and then gather for feasts and celebrations as a sense of community and shared heritage. That makes it truly unique. And the music in this track, it reflects that beautifully. Blending traditional Ethiopian instruments with more modern acoustic sounds, it's like a sonic representation of the cultural blending that happens during Jena itself.
So cool. I'm picturing this incredible mix of old and new, both in the traditions and the music. And right after that, we get another Amharic track, translated as Jenna Eve. It makes you wonder, how does the anticipation and preparation leading up to Jenna compared to the actual celebration itself? What unique traditions or emotions might be associated with Jenna Eve?
It's like we're getting two sides of the same coin, the anticipation and the celebration. Without the lyrics, we're left to imagine those subtle differences, those nuances that make each part of the holiday, special. It's a clever way of engaging the listener's imagination and prompting them to consider the cultural richness that lies beneath the surface.
Absolutely. Then we kind of shift gears a bit with Chocolate for Christmas, bringing us back to the theme of gift giving, but with a focus on the simple and heartfelt. It's not about extravagant presents, but those small tokens of love, like a piece of chocolate, that hold so much meaning.
Right. It's interesting how this track highlights the power of small gestures, these gifts of love, as opposed to material possessions. It reminds us that the most valuable gifts aren't always the biggest or the most expensive. but the ones that, come from the heart. It's a message that resonates deeply, especially, in a culture so often focused on consumerism.
So true. And then we have aladi meaning chocolate for community, which again is in Amharic. I'm sensing a pattern here, these pairings of English and Amharic songs with similar themes.
Yeah. It's a brilliant way of weaving together the two cultures represented in the album. It's almost like a call and response, with each language offering a different perspective on the same underlying idea. Even without understanding the Amharic lyrics, we can sense that there's a deeper layer of meaning waiting to be uncovered.
I love that idea. It's like we're getting two sides of the same story, two ways of expressing the same human emotions. And speaking of bringing things together, the next track, Cocoa and Coffee, literally blends the two signature drinks of the album. It's like a musical metaphor for the cultural fusion happening throughout the album.
Exactly. And the lyrics talk about this, juxtaposition of sweetness and strength, which is such a powerful way to describe the balance that we seek in life. So the cocoa represents that familiar sweetness, that comfort, that nostalgia, while the coffee, especially in Ethiopian culture, embodies strength, tradition, and a connection to the earth.
I love that. It's like the album is reminding us that life is full of contrasts, light and dark, sweet and strong, and that there's beauty in that balance. It also makes me curious about the role of coffee in Ethiopian culture. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Oh, absolutely. In Ethiopia, coffee isn't just a drink, it's a ritual, a ceremony that brings people together. So it's about sharing stories, connecting with loved ones, and honoring traditions that have been passed down through generations. There's a sense of community and belonging woven into the very act of, drinking coffee. And that sense of connection ties beautifully into the broader themes of the album.
That's fascinating. I'm starting to see how each element of the album, from the drinks to the music itself, is carefully chosen to tell this richer story. And right on cue, we have SA, which I believe is cocoa and coffee in Amharic, echoing this idea of cultural blending.
Yeah, it's a clever way of, reinforcing this idea of two cultures coming together in harmony, each contributing its unique flavors and traditions to create something, richer and more complex. Makes me wonder if there are any subtle differences in how the Amharic lyrics portray this blend compared to the English version. What nuances might be hidden in the language itself?
That's a great question. It's like we're constantly being invited to dig deeper, to go beyond the surface and explore the hidden layers of meaning within the music. And speaking of exploring, the next track takes us back to Jenna with Jenna carols. The music is so evocative, you can practically hear the joy and energy of the celebration.
Carols themselves are a fascinating phenomenon. Wouldn't you say they transcend cultural boundaries and language barriers, expressing a universal joy and sense of community? That's unique to this time of year. And to hear them kind of woven into this album alongside traditional Ethiopian instruments creates a truly captivating sonic experience.
Absolutely. The album describes Tenna being, swept up in the music, feeling deeply connected to her community and the generations who've sung these same carols before her. It's a powerful image of belonging and shared heritage. And of course, we have Janna is back in Amharic right after, further emphasizing the central role of this celebration within the album's narrative.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that these Amharic tracks aren't just translations, but companion pieces, offering a parallel perspective on the same themes. It's like having two windows into the same world, each revealing different details and nuances.
I love that analogy. It's like we're getting this multi-dimensional view of the story, the emotions, and the cultural richness that TATANKA is trying to convey. And then, just like that, it's Christmas morning, and the next track, Chocolate for Christmas, brings us back to Tata's personal experience.
It's almost as if we're, experiencing the holiday through her eyes, seeing the world through her lens. And again, we're reminded of the simple things, the gifts of love that make the holiday so special. It's not about material wealth, but the thoughtfulness and connection behind each gift.
Exactly. And the gifts Tana receives aren't extravagant. A hand-knitted scarf, a hand-carved ornament, homemade chocolates. It's the thought behind them that makes them so precious. It makes me wonder, what are some of the most meaningful gifts you've ever received and what made them so special?
That's a great question to ponder. I think what often makes a gift truly special is the story behind it, the love and care that went into making it or choosing it. It's those intangible elements that make it more than just an object. It becomes a symbol of a relationship, a memory, a shared experience.
Beautifully said. And speaking of sharing, the next track, The Christmas Table, Shifts the focus to the importance of family and those shared meals that are so central to the holiday experience.
The Christmas table is such a powerful symbol, isn't it? It's a gathering place, a place where stories are told, memories are made, and generations connect. It's about so much more than just the food. It's about the love and togetherness that it represents.
Right. And the album describes this beautiful array of family recipes, highlighting the role of food in passing down traditions and cultural heritage. It makes me curious, what are some of the essential dishes on your family's Christmas table?
For me, it's less about specific dishes and more about the act of coming together, the shared experience of preparing the meal and enjoying together. There's a sense of warmth and belonging that comes from those shared traditions, those flavors that have been passed down through generations. And at meeting the Christmas table in Amharic, likely expands on that cultural perspective, offering insights into the specific traditions and culinary delights associated with an Ethiopian Christmas meal.
I can practically smell those delicious aromas wafting from the kitchen. It's amazing how food has this power to evoke memories and connect us to our heritage. And then as Christmas Day starts to wind down, we get the track, The Gift of Time, which kind of shifts the focus to something even more precious than any material present.
It's a timely reminder, especially during a season that's often so hectic and overscheduled. The lyrics describe it as a sacred pause, a chance to slow down, be present, and truly connect with those who matter most. It's about recognizing that the most valuable gift we can give is our undivided attention, our presence, our time.
So true. In a world that's constantly rushing, that message is more relevant than ever. The album talks about how we give the most of ourselves when we give our time, when we choose to be present with others, free from distractions. I don't know about you, but that really struck a chord with me.
Yeah, it's a profound truth that's often overlooked. We get so caught up in the outward trappings of the holiday that we forget the true essence of it.
Yeah.
Connection, presence, and love.
Hmm.
And instant or gift of time in Amharic likely reinforces this universal message, reminding us that across cultures the gift of presence is a treasure beyond measure.
It makes you wonder, how can we carry that sense of presence and connection with us beyond the holiday season? How can we make time for those meaningful interactions in our everyday lives?
That's the challenge, isn't it? It's about making a conscious effort to prioritize those moments of connection, to put down the distractions and truly be present with the people we care about. It's a practice, a skill that we can cultivate throughout the year, not just during the holidays.
Such wise words. It's like a New Year's resolution in the making.
Yeah.
Okay, as the warmth of Christmas Day fades, we transition into a more reflective mood with Christmas memories.
This track is all about looking back, reminiscing about past Christmases,
Hmm.
and honoring those who are no longer with us. The album describes Tana, looking through old photographs, tracing the faces of loved ones, and realizing that Christmas is not just about the present moment, but also about the memories that shape who we are.
There's a line that really resonated with me. Christmas is not just about the present moment. It's about remembering all the Christmases that have come before, the people who shared them, and the lessons learned along the way. It's so true, isn't it? Each Christmas builds upon the ones that came before, creating this, rich tapestry of experiences and emotions.
Exactly. It's those shared memories, those stories that we tell and retell that give the holiday its depth and meaning. And I'm certain that, S, which translates to Christmas memories, adds another layer to that exploration of the past, perhaps offering a glimpse into the specific memories and traditions that hold a special place in, Ethiopian culture.
I love how this album is constantly prompting us to think about the universal aspects of the human experience while simultaneously inviting us to explore the unique perspectives of another culture. It's like we're on a journey of discovery, both inward and outward. And speaking of journeys, the next track, A Winter's Glow, transports us to the quiet beauty of the days after Christmas.
It's that, peaceful, reflective period after the excitement has subsided. The album paints a beautiful picture of a snow-covered landscape, the soft glow of lights and the sounds of carolers in the distance. It's about finding beauty in the stillness, in the simplicity of the moment.
It makes me want to curl up by the fire with a good book and just soak in the atmosphere. It's like the world is taking a collective breath after the whirlwind of the holiday season. And I bet Enna, meaning the winter's glow in Amharic, adds another dimension to that feeling of peace and serenity, perhaps reflecting a unique cultural perspective on the beauty of winter.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even as the outward festivities fade, the spirit of the season lingers.
Yeah.
It's in the quiet moments, the reflections, and in the memories that we carry with us. And it makes you wonder, what are some of the ways that you personally hold on to the spirit of Christmas,
Mm.
throughout the year?
That's a great question to ponder. I think it's about finding those little reminders, those small acts of kindness that keep that warmth and generosity alive throughout the year. And speaking of generosity, the next track, The Gifts We Give, expands on that idea, reminding us that true giving goes beyond material possessions.
Right. It highlights the intangible gifts, kindness, compassion, generosity of spirit. The lyrics say, the gifts that mattered most were the small acts of kindness, the helping hand offered when needed, the smile shared across the table, the words of encouragement given when times were tough. It's a powerful reminder that true generosity, comes from the heart, not the wallet.
Absolutely. It's about those everyday acts of kindness that ripple outward and create a more positive and compassionate world. And of course, we have endes, or the gifts we give, following in Amharic, further solidifying this universal message of generosity and kindness. It's like the album is weaving together a tapestry of human experience,
Yeah.
showing us that despite our differences, we share these core values that connect us all.
It's a beautiful testament to the power of music to transcend borders and touch on the shared humanity that binds us all. And as we approach the end of this first part of the album, I'm curious, what stands out to you the most so far? What's resonating with you on a personal level?
For me, it's the emphasis on simplicity, the focus on those small, heartfelt moments that make the holiday season so special. It's a reminder to slow down, appreciate the present moment, and connect with the people who matter most. And it's fascinating to see how these universal themes are interwoven with the richness of Ethiopian culture, creating this truly unique and captivating listening experience. What about you?
I'm struck by how TATANKA has managed to create a sense of intimacy and universality simultaneously. It's a personal story, but the themes are ones that resonate with everyone,
Right.
regardless of background or beliefs. And the way they weave together the English and Amharic tracks creates a sense of dialogue, a conversation between cultures that enriches our understanding of the holiday season and the human experience itself.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. It's like we're not just listening to music, we're participating in a cultural exchange, a shared journey of discovery, and I can't wait to see where the next set of tracks takes us.
I'm with you there. Let's continue this musical exploration and see what other treasures we uncover along the way. As we move into the next part of the album, there's a distinct shift, I think, in tone and theme. It's as if we're stepping out of that warm embrace of the holiday season and into a wider world of possibilities.
You're right, yeah, it's like that feeling you get after Christmas, right? That sense of reflection mixed with anticipation for what the new year might bring.
Exactly. And the first track in this section, The Promise of the New Year, perfectly captures that sentiment. It describes the new year as a blank canvas,
Yeah.
a fresh start. But it also, emphasizes carrying forward the lessons learned, during the holiday season. It's about taking that warmth, that generosity of spirit, and weaving it into the fabric of our everyday lives.
Yeah, it makes you think about the kinds of resolutions we make, not just for the new year, but for life in general.
Yeah.
What are those core values, those guiding principles that we want to carry with us?
Yeah. It's a powerful invitation to reflect on our intentions and align our actions with our deepest values. And meaning the promise of the new year in Amharic, likely, adds another layer to that reflection, perhaps offering insights into how, Ethiopian culture approaches the transition into a new year. Are there specific traditions or beliefs that shape their perspective on new beginnings? It's a question that invites further exploration.
I love how this album is constantly prompting us to think beyond our own cultural frame of reference and consider different ways of experiencing the world. And then things take a sharp turn with the next track. 22nd century Compos Mentis Man Song 008 More. That title is a mouthful. It feels like we've been transported to a completely different time and place.
It's a bold move, isn't it?
Mm.
To go from these heartfelt holiday themes to something so futuristic and enigmatic. And the title itself is intriguing. Compos Mentis refers to, a found mind. So we're already dealing with themes of consciousness and perhaps even artificial intelligence.
Wow, that's fascinating. It's like Tatanka is inviting us to contemplate, the evolution of humanity, the intersection of technology and consciousness, and what it means to be human in a rapidly changing world. And then the mystery deepens with the next track, Lumière, la symphonie des. Those ellipses are like a giant question mark hanging in the air.
It's a brilliant way of piquing the listener's curiosity, don't you think? And the use of French in the title adds another layer of intrigue. Lumière means light, and La Symphonie des suggests a symphony of something yet to be revealed. Perhaps it's a symphony of light, of ideas, of human connection. We're left to fill in the blanks with our own imaginations.
It's like Tatanka is creating a musical puzzle box, inviting us to unlock the secrets hidden within the music. And speaking of puzzles, the next track is O Oi, which translates to human movement in Mongolian. This is the first time we're encountering Mongolian in the album, which opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Yeah. The introduction of Mongolian adds another dimension to the album's exploration of culture and identity. It makes you wonder, how does the concept of human movement translate across different languages and cultures? What unique perspectives might the Mongolian language offer on this theme?
It's a fascinating question. It's like Tatanka is creating a musical tapestry that weaves together these threads from different cultures, creating this rich and complex work of art. And then we're back to those intriguing ellipses with the next track, Quantum Hearts.
The juxtaposition of quantum hearts is so striking. You have this, scientific concept of quantum mechanics,
Right.
which deals with, the subatomic world, paired with the human heart, the seed of emotion and connection. It's a reminder that we are both physical and emotional beings, a complex interplay of science and soul.
It makes you wonder if Tatanka is, hinting at the interconnectedness of all things, the idea that we are all made of the same stardust, vibrating at different frequencies. It's a concept that's both scientific and deeply spiritual.
Mm-hmm. And the ellipses, invite us to contemplate what lies beyond the surface, what mysteries are waiting to be explored at the intersection of science, spirituality, and human experience. And then just when we think we're starting to grasp the pattern, Tatanka throws us another curveball with TATANKA. I racked my brain trying to decipher that one.
Me too, yeah. It's like a secret code waiting to be cracked. It sounds almost like a made-up word, which makes me think that Tatanka might be deliberately playing with language, pushing the boundaries of meaning and interpretation.
Right. It's a reminder that art doesn't always have to be explained or understood.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the most powerful art is the kind that leaves us with, more questions than answers, prompting us to engage with it on a deeper, more intuitive level.
Mm-hmm. And finally, we reach the last track of this set, Lumoi de la Mondo, Earth's Winter Celebration. The use of Esperanto in the title is particularly striking.
Esperanto, being a constructed language, intended to be a universal second language, adds a layer of symbolism, I think, to this track.
Wow.
It suggests a coming together, a unity of different cultures and languages, celebrating a shared experience.
And the phrase Earth's Winter Celebration further reinforces that sense of global inclusivity.
Right.
It's a reminder that winter holidays, in various forms, are celebrated all over the world, each culture bringing its unique traditions and perspectives to the table.
It's a beautiful way to end this section of the album, bringing us back to the themes of connection, shared humanity, and the celebration of diversity that have been woven throughout. As we move into the next part, I'm curious to see how Tatanka continues to explore these themes and what new surprises they have in store for us.
I'm right there with you. Let's dive into the next set of tracks and see where this musical journey takes us next. Okay, so we're entering the final stretch of this deep dive, and I have to say, this last set of tracks feels like a treasure trove of insights into Tatanka's creative process and the deeper meaning behind the album. It's like we're getting a glimpse behind the curtain.
Yeah, I agree. It's like we're being given access to the artist's personal notes, their inspirations, and the philosophical threads that kind of run through their work. It adds a whole new dimension to our understanding of cocoa, coffee, and Christmas carols.
Exactly. And the first thing we encounter is this quote: "Love is what's in the room with you at Christmas if you stop opening presents and listen." It's so simple yet so profound, isn't it?
It's a beautiful reminder to shift our focus from, the material to the intangible, to truly be present with the people we love rather than getting, caught up in the hustle and bustle of the holiday. It aligns perfectly with the themes of simplicity, connection, and the gift of presence that we've been exploring throughout the album.
Right. It's about recognizing the love that surrounds us, the quiet moments of connection that are often overlooked in the midst of the festivities. And then we have Aethona's Lumière, La Symphonie des Idées, which piques my curiosity. It seems to be referencing something else, perhaps another work by TATANKA or a collaboration.
Yeah, the use of Ethona here, further connects it to that futuristic narrative we encountered earlier. It's as if Ethona is a recurring character or perhaps an AI entity that plays a significant role in TATANKA's larger body of work.
It's fascinating to consider how artists create these interconnected universes, these threads of story and meaning that weave through their various creations. It makes you want to go back and explore everything they've ever done to see if you can, piece together the larger puzzle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a treasure hunt for the dedicated listener. And then we have Kaltak Sethona's Ohui and 80, 187, which we've encountered before in the album. I'm curious, why do you think TATANKA chose to include this title twice?
It makes me think that this particular piece, Awi or AA or Human Movement, holds a special significance within the overall narrative. Perhaps it's a pivotal moment in the story, a turning point that reverberates throughout the timeline.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
It's like a musical echo, drawing our attention back to a key theme or event that has implications beyond its initial appearance. And then we get a simple yet powerful statement. TATANKA. Shelter, security, safety.
Yeah, this feels like a key piece of information, revealing the meaning behind the artist's name and shedding light on their artistic intentions.
The association of shelter, security, safety with the name TATANKA resonates deeply with the overall feeling of warmth, comfort, and belonging that kind of permeates the album. It's as if, their music itself is offering a sanctuary, a space where listeners can feel safe to explore their own emotions and connect with something, larger than themselves.
Beautifully said. It's like the music is creating a sense of homecoming, a space where we can feel grounded and connected. And then we move into a series of quotes from Sitting Bull, the legendary Lakota leader.
The inclusion of Sitting Bull's words adds another layer of depth and meaning to the album. His voice brings a sense of wisdom, a connection to nature and the interconnectedness of all things.
The first quote is, "It is through this mysterious power that we too have our being, and we therefore yield to our neighbors, even to our animal neighbors, the same right as ourselves to inhabit this vast land." What a powerful statement about our shared humanity and our responsibility to respect all living beings.
Yeah, it speaks to a sense of humility and interconnectedness.
Yeah.
A recognition that we are all part of, a larger web of life. It's a message that's particularly relevant in today's world, where issues of environmental justice and social inequality are, at the forefront of our collective consciousness.
Right. The next quote continues this theme of interconnectedness and responsibility. Let us put our minds together and see what life we can make for our children. It's a call to action, a reminder that we have a duty to create a better future for generations to come.
It highlights the importance of collaboration, of working together to address the challenges facing, our planet and humanity as a whole. And the final quote from Sitting Bull brings a sense of hope and renewal. "Behold, my friends, the spring has come. The earth has gladly received the embraces of the sun, and we shall soon see the results of their love."
What a beautiful image of rebirth and the cyclical nature of life. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always the promise of new beginnings, a chance for growth and transformation.
It's a fitting end to this musical journey, leaving us with a sense of optimism and a renewed appreciation for the beauty and resilience of the human spirit.
I couldn't agree more. So we've reached the end of Cocoa, Coffee, and Christmas Carols, an album that has taken us on a journey through heartwarming holiday traditions, vibrant cultural expressions, philosophical reflections, and even glimpses into a futuristic world. It's been a truly enriching experience.
TATANKA has created something truly special. A musical tapestry that weaves together, diverse threads of sound, story, and meaning. It's an album that rewards repeated listens, revealing new layers of depth and beauty each time you experience it.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to seek out Cocoa, Coffee, and Christmas Carols and embark on this musical journey for yourselves. You might be surprised by what you discover along the way.
Until next time, may your hearts be filled with the warmth of connection, the joy of discovery, and the enduring power of music.